Thursday morning, everybody. Chris Allen here on the Sam channel, which is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace on this little Friday. It is Thursday, March 9th, and the weather stick is still blue. So let's get into it this morning and tell you about the mostly tranquil weather. Yesterday had a high of 55, 57 is the average. So we were just 2 degrees shy of the average for the day with the clouds over the area. And some of you picked up a couple of sprinkles, and we're seeing some light returns on the radar this morning, especially off to the south and west of us. Some of those light sprinkles, if it is even reaching the ground, is just kind of barely there. There's a little weak trough, one of those straws that I tell you about that's siphoning up some of the moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. There are low pressure systems down that direction. And so we're going to tap into a little bit of moisture first as sprinkles, but then as the day wears on and a low pressure system gets closer to southern Kentucky, then our rain chances will begin to go up late this afternoon and into tonight, and then pretty much be out of here by tomorrow morning. So today is going to look and feel a lot like yesterday did, but then we're going to add in the rain component that will be a little more than just sprinkles as we get into tonight and early tomorrow morning. All right, let's go to the 10-day blender before I get into all the forecast details. And you can see that this cool trend looks to continue for a bit longer. Now, this blend of models is going more with low 60s today. There's a little bit of disagreement amongst the models as to how warm it's going to be today. As we saw when we get things averaged out, cloud cover versus a little bit of sun versus how soon the rain will begin to move into southern Kentucky. So there's all those variables that make it low confidence on how warm it's going to get today. But this is outputting 61. I'm going with upper 50s, close to 60. So it all kind of balances out. But some of you may not hit 60 or 61. You may stay 58, 59, closer to that. And then tomorrow, this will be as a cold front passes through early tomorrow morning, shuts off the rain pretty quickly, and we go back into the low 50s. Then we start to climb up again, but stay in the 50s, stay about average for this time of the year for Saturday, Sunday. Then we have another system coming through Sunday night into Monday morning, which this one is going to be, if you want to use the word colder, yes, not necessarily cooler. This one will be colder in that we're only looking at upper 40s to near 50 for high temperatures. And there you see the low temperatures a few degrees below freezing on both Monday night and Tuesday night when we'll get into the upper 20s. But I'm not looking at any precipitation during that time, so we're not going to really, in a sense, still not worry about winter weather. And then we do a nice recovery after that. We go back into the 60s, upper 50s to low 60s as we get into the final few days of winter and spring, only days after that, officially. And of course, this weekend is daylight saving time. It will begin. That's when we spring forward 1 hour. And despite what you've heard about we don't have to do that anymore, yes, you still have to do that at least 1 or 2 more times until all of this clears the Senate and the president signs it into law. Then we don't have to do it anymore. But that hasn't happened yet. So we still have to spring forward Saturday night before you go to bed. Or you can wait till 2 a.m. Sunday morning and do it then and throw a big party. That's up to you. Okay, so that aside, let's get to the details now. And what's happening currently with temperatures. Remember, yesterday we had kind of three divisions of temperature statewide, which had to do with air stability and cloud cover. We've got some cloud cover again this morning. Where we're seeing less cloud cover, we're seeing near freezing or just a little bit above freezing temperatures in that dark blue, temperatures in the 30s. Then we see a lighter blue that's upper 30s to low 40s. That's pretty much what we have over southern Kentucky this morning. And then you see some green showing up back to the west. That's where it's warmer in the mid 40s. So a big stretch of temperature range again this morning because of the stable air mass. But where the clouds have come in, it's a bit warmer, and there's even a few of those sprinkles that I showed you on radar back into western Kentucky. But the really good shot of rain is not going to arrive until looks like probably late this afternoon into tonight. And I'll show you that progress now with the maps as we show you the prediction and the models painting out the picture of the flow and how things are going to happen over the next 24 hours or so. Here is that, batch of rain that is going to come in here and just kind of slip into southern Kentucky as we get into this evening. All of this is part of that upper flow, which continues, as you see, continues to be Pacific in nature. It gets to about Texas, Oklahoma, then it taps into Gulf moisture and it sends it our direction thanks to high pressure being off to the east over the Atlantic. So it's a natural flow of things, but it's something that hasn't changed pretty much all winter. The only time we've had that blue line to the north of the red line you see there, the really only time that we've had significant cold air and a real taste of winter was back at Christmas, and then maybe a couple of times after that. But overall, this has been the pattern that has been set up for our winter. It has all stayed to the north. So let me put this into motion. You can watch the rain kind of sneak in here as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. It's not going to be a lot of rain, maybe a tenth of an inch. Some of you could pick up maybe a little more than that, about 2/10 of an inch, but it's not going to be a lot of rain. As you can see, it's very scattered, very disorganized, and not really a whole lot of activity. There will be thunderstorms here down south where you get the best moisture coming in out of the Gulf of Mexico, but other than that, we're not going to get thunderstorms here. It just would be, you know, general garden variety showers, and again, it's not going to be all that much. We get into tonight and early tomorrow. Things stay pretty quiet here. We get rid of the rain. A cold front comes through and makes us a little bit cooler. You can see how that the jet stream and the blue line here, that 540 line, takes a little bit of a dive. And so some of the winds may come in not windy, a little breezy, a little bit cooler for tomorrow as we get into the day. But notice that line stays to the north. It does clip northern Kentucky just a little bit. That troughiness there is a bit of a sign of a pattern change. And one that I showed you yesterday will eventually take place. And look at that line dropping now. Look at that. That's now a difference. That's now a difference of more Arctic coolness, chilliness, cold. I know I've been refraining from using the word cold, but as you saw in the 10-day blender, some cold is going to come, but it's going to be in a short window of a day, day and a half, maybe 2 days. And then we start to moderate and we start to warm back up. This picture is, looks like about, 10, 11 midnight on Saturday. Well, actually, that would be Friday night into early Saturday morning. So that's when some of the colder air is coming in. But then you notice out west, this is why I say it's not going to live very long. Look at this bounce of warm air that's going to shoot through the plains. Even there, though, there's still going to be a mix of precipitation for some of those folks. But it does signal that whatever trophiness, whatever cold, more polar Arctic air that's going to try to make a run at us and try to make a hit at us, it's not going to last very long. I mean, we're just getting into that time when these things happen. It's just not going to be there for maybe a day or two, and then it moves on. I just don't see. I know there's still talk out there about maybe seeing some snow on Saturday or Sunday. I just don't see it. Somebody might see some snow flakes, but again, ground temperatures are too warm, surface temperatures are too warm. We've had too long of a time established for uh, temperatures on the ground and surfaces to negate any kind of a snow situation or even ice situation. So I'm not too concerned about all that. Let them hype it up if they want to for clicks and likes and shares, but I don't care about that. All right, let's take a look at the surface map. We'll show you how this is going to play out. There's a straw, there's a straw, there's a straw. All these little disturbances are there attached to low pressure systems along the Gulf, as I mentioned earlier. And so they're going to try to draw in some of this moisture into southern Kentucky. As we get into the afternoon, it gets a little bit closer, and we start to see more in the way of actual rainfall instead of just, yeah, there's something up there, but it's not even reaching the ground. It's drying out before it gets us. The columns will become more, the columns in the atmosphere will become more saturated as we get into tonight and early tomorrow. So there will be rain. There's a straw there covering right over southern Kentucky as we get into 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Low pressure systems, thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast and down into Texas. We won't see any of that thunderstorm activity. This low does get a little tilted, but it's only at 1012 millibars. It's it's piddly compared to what we had on Friday when it was 981 millibars. That's a big difference. So this one, much weaker. There's a little bit of a breeze that you'll notice today, tonight, early tomorrow. It does deepen. Look at that. It goes to 1,000. Is that 9? Yeah, 1,009 millibars. This will become stronger and head to the northeast and looks like could become a nor'easter for those folks. Here we go into Friday night, Saturday, it's all over for us. But then this will become a whopper of a storm for the Northeast as we head into the weekend, and then it goes out to sea. Look at that. It does go, what, 989? Yeah, 989 millibars. It gets stronger as it goes up to the Northeast and then goes out to sea. Classic, what we call nor'easter. A lot of wind, probably some snow. New York City's going to get another snow, which they've only had one really big one so far this winter. That shows you that, again, that Pacific pattern, that really warm pattern has even affected them this winter, which is a bit unusual, but it happened before. Here comes another series of systems as we get into Saturday and Sunday. There's a straw laying right over us. Disturbance, shortwave trough, sucking in the moisture from this low and the Gulf of Mexico. All of this originates, though, from the Pacific and heads this way, warm sector. But you see a little bit of slice of that colder air. That's that trough that I showed you digging for the first time into Kentucky since about Christmas or early January. First time we've seen it in weeks, months, even. And so somebody's going to get a little mix out of this, but I'm thinking more north of the Western Kentucky bluegrass parkways, as we get into Sunday, we're going to get rain here in Southern Kentucky, a chilly rain, but rain. And then that system moves off and becomes kind of another nor'easter for for the New England states and mid-Atlantic. They get 2 hits in a row there. It's a little bit unusual, but again, it's that trough. They got the jet stream, the dip in the jet stream. You've got more Arctic air coming in. So they're going to get 2 hits. We're going to get chilly, but we're not going to get cold enough for a big winter event. It's just not going to happen. And whatever winter temperatures we feel out of these systems is going to be a short window compared to everything else. And then we warm back up right after that. All right. Again, yesterday's high 55, the average 57, and that keeps going up. So we were only 2 degrees shy of the average yesterday, and we're going to be here in a couple of days. Average high is going to be in the 60s, low 60s. So spring is around the corner, whether you like it or not. And winter wants to try to make a couple of hits at us. It can do that. It's going to do that. That's pretty typical. And also keep in mind, all of this has happened before. Even though we set records in some cases, all of this has happened before. This pattern is not foreign to us, except in our generational minds, only that far we say, even last night at church, I've never seen this happen before. And I said, you're right. You have never seen it happen before, but others have. So there you go. All right, that'll do it for this edition of Sam Channel Weather on this Thursday morning. I'm headed to the radio station to do the morning show and have some fun with you guys. 6 to 10, classic hits, Sam 100.7 on your radio. Don't have to pay for it. No subscription. It's free. And it's on your radio, in your car. I'll make you laugh on your way to work while you're sitting on Scottsville Road, cussing at traffic and the people that cut you off and don't use their turn signal. I'll make you laugh. I'll make you feel better about the day. And then when you get to the office, I'll try to make you feel better too. Stupid, stupid stuff I say that'll make you laugh. Laugh at me if you need to. I don't care. You don't, I'm not one of those people that's offended if you laugh at me. I want you to laugh at me. I won't get offended. Some people say, no, laugh with me, not at me. Pfft. Laugh at me all you want. Make fun of me all you want. You know what? I don't care. I heard somebody say it because they listened to me, and that's my 3 favorite words. I do care, but I don't care. God bless you all. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on the radio.